Hello everyone, this is Sam Kewen, and today I'm going to be talking about rooks. Now we have our rook down here on the h1 square, if I can get it highlighted, and what we want to know about rooks is how they move. Now rooks can move straight up or straight across, as far as they want to go to the end of the board. And so we'll say I want to move my rook to D1. And so I'll take my rook and I'll move it here to D1. And then maybe we'll say I want to move my rook to F5 right here. Now this is a little bit tricky because I can't get there right away. So I have two options. I can use one move to come up to D5, and then for my next turn I can move to F5, or I can go to F1, and then for my next turn go to F5. But for now it's black's turn, and black has his little pawn here, and so black will move, and now I'll move to F1, it's black's turn again, and then I'll move to F5. And so what we see now is that this rook has its laser all the way up, it has its laser all the way down, and it has its laser all the way over here, and then it has its laser going this way. Now, usually the laser would go all the way to the end of the board, but there's this pawn right here that's in the way, and so my laser stops on the pawn. Once the pawn moves, since it's black's turn, my laser goes all the way to A5. What we want to do is we want to capture this pawn on C4. And so we can't get to it right away because the pawn's not straight across. So just like we had a plan to move from C1, or it was D1, to F5, we need to make a plan to get to this pawn right here. Now we could make the plan to come down and then go over, but once we move down to this F4 square, it'll be black's turn and he'll move down to the C3 square. And so a better plan would be to get our rook behind the pawn so that no matter how far where the pawn goes, we can capture it, because the pawn can only go straight. And so I'm going to move my rook over to here, and then this pawn will go down, and I'll take my rook and I'll capture the pawn on the C3 square. Watch how it happens. It's white's turn. Black's turn, he can only move to C3, and now it's white's turn. And he comes down and captures it. So when you capture the piece, you stop on the piece. You don't keep going through, you have to stop on the piece. And that's how rooks move. Thanks for watching.